Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Lisa, right?
Lisa, that's correct. How are you going?
I'm all right. What time? It's the same time in Perth, right?
Yeah, exactly the same time. So that makes it easy for us.
Yeah, so we're in the same time. So, hi, good morning.
Yeah. Pardon?
I was just saying hi to May as well. May has just joined us in the meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
hello.
Hi, May. How are you?
I should probably change my name on the display.
Yeah, we need to know your name.
Yeah, I'm Ronald. You can call me Ron.
Ronald. Okay, that's good.
I'll rename myself.
How are you going, May?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I'm going well, thank you. Yes, everything's very nice over here at the moment in Western Australia. We've been the lucky state, I think. We just don't seem to have too many problems with COVID, and our students are in class, teachers are at work, and so yeah, it's good. It's been good for us.
So things are quite normal in Perth right now. No lockdown.
No lockdown. It's all very nice. Actually, I was talking to some people from Melbourne yesterday, and they were saying how jealous they were of us because they're stuck indoors, and they said it's terrible for them. Whereas I said, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to rub it in, but we're having a pretty good life over here.
Life is still as usual and not as normal.
Yeah. The only problem is, yeah, we don't get to travel, but normally we're used to traveling and coming over to see you guys and everything else, but everything has been replaced with Zoom. So it's working quite well. And even we're doing some online, all of our courses that should have started in July, they're doing online studies. So that's actually working quite well as well. You know, that's the first time we've ever done that before. And yeah, surprisingly, everyone's pretty happy with it. So that's good.
So there are no travel restrictions interstate, or are they actually?
Yes, we don't. No one is allowed into WA at the moment, okay, unless they have exemptions. You know, it's causing a little bit of friction with other states because they're saying, well, you know, why can't we get into WA? But WA is saying, well, that's the reason why we've managed to maintain things. So until everyone else is in a better state, they're probably going to keep it like that, I'd say, which makes some people happy, but other people, of course, who want.
But I think there is a exceptional,
a section. What was that, May?
Yeah, I think there's an exceptional, I think, cases that actually one of my friend, the mother is actually in Perth, and
yep,
she was very sick and then passed away. So then the with special pass, I think, that they need to apply for permit to, you know, fly from Sydney to Perth.
Yeah, and that's true. They have special exemptions. One of the things, yes, May, your connectivity is not very good, May. Low bandwidth, it says, for you.
Yeah, I know.
Not so good.
Yes, yes. Battery is fine, but I think it's the line problem.
Yeah, often it's the bandwidth. Your network,
a little bit of breaking, right?
Yeah, yeah, just sort of stopping and starting a little bit. Yeah. So, Ronald, is my connectivity okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. How about for my side? Am I clear to your side?
Yeah, I think yours is okay.
Good. Yeah, yours is good. Yeah.
It's just that my lighting is. I realize that.
No, it's because you're up in space. Hey, you're up in space.
or maybe underwater. Yeah. I'm in an aquarium or something, so I have I think.
So, Ronald, when I do my presentation, I've got some videos embedded in that presentation. Can they be seen, or will they lag?
Do you want to just try it out right now? I think that's good. I'll put you on Spotlight. Right. And your Spotlight now. Maybe you want to try playing, sharing your screen, and then try and play the video, because in the last for last week, one of my talks, the speaker had trouble playing the video. The audio did not come out, so you might want to take a look. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You've got to allow me. You've disabled me from screen sharing. So
okay. Let me try that. Advanced sharing. Who can share? All participants.
Right now. Share. Okay, I can now. That's good. All right. Let's have a quick look. Just bring it. I'll just bring it down to. One second. Bear with me a minute. Just get to one of them. Okay, this is one of the videos. So I'll just play a little bit and just stop me.
I'm from Vietnam.
I come from China.
I grew up in Kuching.
I come from Zambia. This is my first time far from.
Okay, so is that okay?
Yeah, I can hear the sound, but the video seems to be a bit laggy.
The video is lagging, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you rather I didn't show it?
Unless you could fix it somehow.
I don't know whether that is possible for that to be fixed, because I'm doing it from home using a laptop. I've noticed if I do it from work, it's often better. You can actually see it. So I think from home, if you can't see it, that could be a problem. There is one part of it, because the boy who is featured on this is actually a boy from Lodge School. Okay. So I wonder whether I play it up to that section, and then.
I think it will be good to play the video actually, because with Isaac in, you know, some junior students might know that, might know him, which is quite good.
That's what I thought. It's a shame that you can't. So can you, Ronald? Can you actually see it?
Sure.
Or
yes, I can see your video, but maybe just keep it playing, and we'll see if it gets better.
Okay, I'll keep playing it.
Yeah, just give it a go.
Okay.
From home, and I had to live far from my family, which I miss them a lot. I made some.
The audio is quite clear.
I had a great experience here.
The image is
Teachers are very friendly, and they help us out a lot in our studies and both in our lives too. In the future, I would like to go into the medical field.
It was fantastic to learn English and can get new friends. I'm enjoying playing basketball with my friend. Keirin College is a good school to try improve your English and your learning independent skill.
I always wanted to see more of the world, explore what it's like, what the people are like. I came into Keirin College. I took the Western Australia University Foundation program. It's a really worthwhile experience because it sets you up for even greater steps in life. Initially, when I started out UWA, I started out with a degree in chemistry, as well as pathology and lab medicine. I will be progressing in medicine in the next 2 years. Next year, I will be doing an honors degree, hopefully in biomedical research. And if all goes well, I'll be starting medicine in approximately 2021.
Okay, so is it worth playing it?
I think so. What was it last student, the coaching boy?
He is, he's from Lodge School.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe you could just mention that perhaps, and then.
He's the one that Lodge.
Yeah. So should I just play up to that and then turn it off?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but it's entirely up to you, because the format that we are doing today's talk will be 30 minutes of your talk, and then we will leave 15 minutes for the question and answer.
Okay, because I do actually have 3 videos, but if you think they're not worth showing, other than that little section, I can leave them out.
Well, it's entirely up to you, Lisa, because it's your presentation. So I'll let you decide what's best.
I just don't want to, if it's lagging and it's annoying to watch. I think people get sick of it.
I think Lisa, I think should be fine.
Should be fine, you think, May?
Lisa, I think should be fine. Some lagging, I think student will understand. So
we'll understand that.
Yeah. I think this video is quite good. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
There's a new participant, Nolan, who's just joined us.
Okay, let me just.
We'll start in a few minutes time. It's 10 minutes already, so maybe we just give it off 1 or 2 more minutes to let the others come in.
Okay.
We'll put you on spotlight. Okay.
So, Ronald, have you had many people interested, or is it quite a big group or small group?
We have quite a few registrants for this morning's talk. So I'm just wondering whether they're still logging in or something. But I'll just let them in as and when they ask to get admitted into the rooms. So what we can do is we'll just begin. This talk is recorded, so if there's any part which is left out, or if they've missed it, they can replay it later on. We'll be sorting out the recording.
Okay, so I'll just start.
Okay, all right. So let me just introduce myself and introduce you. Okay, hi.
And
yes,
Ronald, do you ask the students to put their video on? Because it's much nicer to speak to a face.
Okay, all right. On a special request, I'm just wondering, let me ask, Nolan, would you like to just show your video? You don't have to on your sound, but maybe just start your video. Okay, I'll just put on a request.
I know sometimes people don't want to do that.
He'll start video later. Okay.
They're a bit
okay. For the questions and answers. So without further ado, good morning everyone. Welcome to the last day of the Lodge School Edu Fair. My name is Ron. I am your moderator for this morning. I'm from the Lodge School Alumni Association. Together with me this morning is Lisa from Canning College. She will be presenting on Canning College, and we'll give half an hour for the presentation, and the remaining 15 minutes of this morning we will leave it for questions and answers, where you can ask questions, and hopefully we'll have a good discussion about and learn more about Canning College. So good morning, Lisa. Would you like to start, please?
Okay, thank you, Ronald, and thank you to Nolan, who has told me that he's not using a webcam, so that's why we can't see his face. Okay, perfectly acceptable. Okay, so my name is Lisa de Chalier. I am the Director of International Operations at Canning College. Now, Canning College is a college in Western Australia, so it's on the left-hand side of Australia if you looked at the map. We're about 6 hours from Malaysia. We have many students who come into our school from Malaysia. And in fact, out of every year, out of the top 20 students, between 10 and 15 come from Malaysia, particularly from the Lodge School. So over the years, we've been receiving students from the Lodge School for many, many years. And in fact, I've got one of the students, an ex-student from Lodge School, who is featured in our video, telling us about his pathway that he did. So I'm just going to share a PowerPoint presentation. And for Nolan, who is probably doing Form 5, I would imagine, there's quite a few slides that wouldn't really apply to Nolan. So I will basically just leave out any of the slides that I think are not that suitable, unless Ronald or May, if you think they need to be talked about, please ask me. So Canning College, it's a government school. We call it a college, and I know in a lot of parts of the world, college means university. It isn't a university, it's actually a pathway to university. But in Australia, college can mean like a nicer sort of school. So that's the explanation for the use of the word college. So our next slide tells us that we have been around for 38 years, which we were actually the first school in the whole of Western Australia to take international students. So, okay, what's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal is that we know how to deal with international students. We know what the parents want, we know what the students want, and we also have success in getting students into university. And really that's our main aim. We don't ever say to students, come to Canning College and stay here. No, it's like a stepping stone. We want you to come to Canning College and get you into the best university possible. So most students, when they come to us, they know what they want to do at university. So they would tend to come into us for foundation, and then the next year they'll be at the university of their choice. Now, due to COVID-19, we've actually started for the first time ever doing online learning. Now, every program that starts in July is now doing online, but also there are students on campus doing the same program. So that means that every program is live streamed from the classroom. I know for foundation, in fact, our mid-year foundation program, which started in July and finishes in May next year, the teachers have, in the English class, there's 17 students offshore in various countries, and only 3 students on campus at the moment. So why I'm telling you this, Nolan, is because in case the travel restrictions are still in place for next year, the beginning of the programs may start as online programs, and then as soon as travel restrictions are removed, we expect students to come to Canning College. Okay, so just looking at this slide here, this is talking about our success in the foundation program last year. So that foundation program that we offer, I always refer to it as an academic foundation program because lots of different colleges offer foundation. But when I say ours is an academic program, it is because it is based on the same syllabus as what local students do, our Year 12 students do, to go into university. So if you want to, for example, be an engineer, and they would say to you, you need to have chemistry, physics, maths methods, maths application, maths specialist, students who do the foundation program will study those subjects plus English. The same, exactly the same as what local students in other schools would study to get to university. So when you start university, for example, doing engineering, you know that you have the same background knowledge as what all the local Australian students would have. And so therefore that makes it a lot easier for international students. So on here it says our top student was a boy from Penang. Okay, this is fairly incredible, but he managed to get an overall percentage of 99.7%. Okay, that's incredible, but it does show you that it is possible to achieve that. If you look at the pie chart below, 82% of our students from Canning College progress onto a university in Western Australia. 14% go to universities in other parts of Australia, and 4% go overseas. So basically, you know, it is a perfect stepping stone for the next part of your education pathway. All right, as I said before, because we've been around for 38 years, we offer a lot of support services. We have advisors who are also teachers. We have a school psychologist. We offer help with accommodation. We have a literacy coordinator. We have, one of the better things that we have is a learning centre in the library. So the learning centre really is free tuition. So all the teachers take turns to sit in the learning centre. They put a little sign up on their table, it might say maths, for example, and students will go and ask for help with the maths teacher. It doesn't have to be your teacher, it could be any teacher. You take a problem with you, show the teacher, and the teacher will work through it with you. Also, before examinations, we run revision workshops as well. If you're under 18, you do not have to pay for an external guardian. If you need a guardian, well, then the principal of Canning College becomes that person for you. Okay, these are all the different courses, but the course that I will talk about in detail will be the foundation program, because students coming from the Lodge School to us normally will have finished Form 5, whether it's your SPM or whatever you're doing, and then you come to us for a 10-month program and 8 to 10-month program, and then the year after that you will be at the university of your choice if you are successful in the foundation program. So what is foundation? Foundation was designed for international students. Originally, when international students came to Western Australia, they did the West Australian Certificate of Education just like domestic students did. So then we said the biggest problem with that was they didn't get enough English, because students needed more help in English. It didn't really matter if they came even from Singapore or Africa, where they've studied completely in English and possibly in most parts of Malaysia as well, but it was more the preparation for university, so that you get to learn how to do research assessments, you get to do all your in-text and end-text referencing, you get to assimilate with Australian students, you know, just by, not within our school because our school is only international, but just by living in Western Australia. And it just helps students to be ready for university studies. So that's why we started up this foundation program. We do still offer the West Australian Certificate of Education for international students, but I never recommend it, because when you do our program, there's only about 100 students who do that in Western Australia. So therefore, you're only competing with 100 students to get the best places at university. If you do the West Australian Certificate of Education, you're competing with 26,000 students. So that's why I'll always say it's a good idea just to stick with this. We have multiple entry points. Another reason why it's considered an academic program is because there is an external examination. So half of your marks come from our institution and the other half come from the Tertiary Institution Service Centre that sets an external examination. This is the same centre that sets external examinations for local students. Okay. So to choose your subjects, you have the compulsory English Language and Australian Cultural Studies, which is 9 hours per week, and then you choose 3 or 4 of the other subjects. So depending on what you want to do at university, you will be advised on what subjects you should be choosing. So if you said, for example, you want to do physiotherapy, we would say to you, you need a minimum of 1 science subject. Probably human biology would be a good example for you to choose, or chemistry. And then you need to choose 3 or 4 others. So one of the things we always advise students is choose something that you're good at, because really your aim is to do well enough to get you into the course of your choice. When you look at the 3 maths that they mentioned there, there's maths application, maths methods, maths specialist. Maths application is the easiest maths. Methods and specialist. Methods is a reasonably difficult maths. Specialist is only done in conjunction with maths methods. And the students who choose specialist are very good at maths, and they're aiming towards engineering or actuarial studies or some sort of degree that needs a high level of maths. Okay, this just explains the difference between WACE and foundation that I've already talked about. One of the things I didn't mention about foundation is you must receive over 50% in ELACs to meet university entry requirements. And that there are also some degrees that want an IELTS as well. So not very many, but ELACs, 50% in ELACs usually gives you your English requirements to get into university. Okay, so before I spoke about 82% of our students go to those universities. So in Western Australia, we have the University of Western Australia, which is part of the group of 8. We have Curtin University, which is located right next door to Canning College. Murdoch University, which is very popular for students who want to do animal science or veterinary science. Or law, for example. From Malaysia, a lot of students will do law at Murdoch University. Edith Cowan we don't package with, but our foundation program does lead directly to Edith Cowan. And one of the new universities that we now package with is the University of Notre Dame, which is a Catholic university located in Fremantle. Okay, this gives you a bit of an idea of our top 6 students last year and what they did at Canning College, what the score they received and where they went afterwards. And it's amazing because I just randomly chose the top 6 students based on their scores, and most of them came from different countries and went to different universities as well, choosing different degrees. So it just gives you a fairly good snapshot of, if you come to Canning, you know, this is what's possible. If you're a good student, you know that you will be choosing a good course at a university that's could be difficult to get into in other places if you did another course to lead into it. So this Gozi, he was from Penang, 99.7. CPS is a percentage. Foundation gives you a percentage score. When you look through all the prospectuses of the universities in Australia, they always ask for an ATAR. Now, an ATAR is a ranking, and the ranking is for local students. So every student who does the West Australian Certificate of Education is given a ranking. So how they work it out, they put the lowest score and in order, they work right up to the highest score. If you get an ATAR of 80, that means that you're in the top 20% of all students from Western Australia. So how we work it is we have a conversion chart that will give you an equivalent ranking. Now, when it gets up into the very high scores, it's almost the same number. But if you get, for example, 53% CPS, that is the equivalent of an ATAR of 70. If you get 60 CPS, that's an equivalent ATAR of 80. So, you know, that is very easy to work it. And when you apply to universities, we will always attach what the conversion rate is. So don't worry when students see that 90, you know, like if, for example, 80, if they see an ATAR of 80, they go, oh, that's difficult, I've got to get 80%. And I say, well, no, you don't get 80%, you get 60% because that's a ranking that they're referring to, not a percentage. So this boy, he went on to do a Bachelor of Advanced Science at the University of Adelaide. And you can see the subjects he chose. So he was interested in everything to do with science: chemistry, ELACs, earth and environmental science, math, methods, psychology. The second top student was a girl from Indonesia. She got 96.5. She has progressed to a university in Korea, and her subjects were chemistry, ELACs, methods, and physics. Next one was a boy from China with a CPS of 93.9, ended up at the University of Sydney with a Bachelor of Commerce. It's interesting to note, if you want to go to the University of Melbourne, for example, and do a Bachelor of Commerce, they expect a minimum of maths methods, whereas most universities, other universities will take maths application. So that's why it's important for you to know a little bit of, you know, where you think you're going to end up so that you choose the subjects accordingly. The next student was a boy from Singapore who went on to do Bachelor of Physiotherapy at Curtin University next door to us. Physiotherapy is very, very popular at the moment. And the good thing, if you do foundation, there is no quota for our students. As long as the students achieve 70% of 70, they can get direct entry into physiotherapy without having to go on the list to see if they can get in. Next girl from Indonesia and ended up at the University of Melbourne. And last, Christy also had a twin brother, I think, from Malaysia, and she went to go to the University of Western Australia with a Bachelor of Commerce. Okay, so this is a testimonial. Now, we've tried it before. There is a little bit of lagging with the video, but you can hear it clearly, apparently. The reason why I really want you to listen to this is because the boy called Isaac was actually from Lodge School, and he came to us a couple of years ago. So it'd be nice for you to watch what's happened with him. So I'll just play it. Forgive the lagging, just listen carefully, and hopefully the lagging isn't too off-putting. Oh, done it wrong. I always do this. Okay, let's try it again. That's it.
I'm from Vietnam.
I come from China.
I grew up in Kuching.
I come from Zambia.
This is my first time far from home, and I had to live far from my family, which I miss them a lot. I made some fantastic friends. I had great experience here. The teachers are very friendly and they help us out a lot in our studies and both in our lives too. In the future, I would like to go into the medical field.
It was fantastic to learn English and can get new friends. I'm enjoying playing basketball with my friend. Caring College is a good school to try improve your English and your learning independent skill.
I always wanted to see more of the world, explore what it's like, what the people are like. I came into Canning College. I took the Western Australia University Foundation program. It's a really worthwhile experience because it sets you up for even greater success in life. Initially, when I started out UWA, I started out with a degree in chemistry, as well as pathology and lab medicine. I will be progressing in medicine in the next 2 years. Next year, I will be doing an honors degree, hopefully in biomedical research. And if all goes well, I'll be starting medicine in approximately 2021.
It was definitely way easier than I thought to settle in with so many of us having a similar goal, not in the same subject, but they all have a goal or a dream to go to university. I think the teachers here are professional and experienced, like you can see it through their teaching. I'm doing physiotherapy at Curtin. I'm in my first year.
When I first came, it was like I got a really good warmth, so I sort of like settled in really well, like from the get-go. Canning College is going to open you to lots of great opportunities. Without Canning, I was not going to get my scholarship to study at UWA. I'm now studying economics and finance at UWA in my 3rd year.
Okay, so I'll skim past that, but I apologise if there was a delay that you're listening to, that you were viewing with the video, but it just goes to show that that Isaac Ung, I don't know whether, Nolan, if you know this student, but the fact that he went to Lodge School and he would have got a scholarship with us as well and is progressing, and as he said, will start medicine next year, so that's excellent news. Probably the Certificate 4 program is a 6-month program. Now, Certificate 4 will actually take you into some degrees in Curtin University or Murdoch University. So it's degrees that will expect a 78R, so that's 53%. If you pass Certificate 4, you are assumed to have achieved a 78R equivalent. So some students will choose that because they want to go into our diploma course, our Diploma of Commerce. Diploma of Commerce is 1st year university, so they'll choose to do Certificate 4, but Certificate 4 can also take you directly into those certain degrees at Curtin and Murdoch. So, you know, it doesn't give you the options that Foundation does. Foundation will get you anywhere. Certificate 4 will only get you into certain degrees, and it will only get you into certain degrees at those 2 universities. But, you know, it is a good option for students. It's easier than Foundation. That's one of the reasons students will choose it. If they want to go into commerce, well, then it can take out 6 months of study. All right, so then they can go, if they go to do it and then go on to do our diploma, they can go into University of Western Australia or Curtin, or in fact, they can end up at Murdoch, Notre Dame as well. So there's good choices, but as I say, it doesn't give you the same options as what Foundation does. And particularly if you were a very good student, you would definitely choose Foundation over Certificate 4. But it's great because it gives an option to students who don't feel confident that they'll pass Foundation. Okay, and Certificate 4 subjects are all based on commerce sort of, and business studies. And as I mentioned before, the Diploma of Commerce is for students who have either, if they want direct access, they have to have completed STPM or A levels, and then they can come straight into Diploma of Commerce. That is 1st year university, considered 1st year university, and then they go on to UWA, Curtin, Murdoch, or University of Notre Dame into the 2nd year of commerce. Okay. And once again, they're all business subjects. I won't go into too many details unless someone asks for specific questions on this. Year 10 is a new thing for us. Some parents want to, particularly if they send an older child and there is a younger child who needs to go into year 10, they will also send one of their children to us for year 10. Year 10 means they'll start with us year 10, year 11, and then do year 12 foundation. Year 11, once again, for students who have finished Form 4, and parents may want an earlier entry into overseas education. When it says here the English language requirements, we're always talking about IELTS. We do not expect you to have IELTS if you have studied in a school where everything has been taught in English and you have passed English in your own school. So in the Lodge School, if they teach everything in English, you have a pass in English, well then that will be good enough for you to come in to do foundation with us. Okay, this is a student experience video. Once again, I'll play this and hopefully, you know, you can listen even if the lagging is a little bit annoying. This shows you what happens at Canning from right from when we start with students coming for orientation and as they progress through to graduation. So I'll just, done it again, go back. Yeah. No, it's not working. Maybe it will help me if, there it is. So this is Kings Park in Perth, a beautiful park that looks over the city. Orientation is always good fun. Students are taken to Caversham Wildlife Park. Okay, it does make it look like it's just fun and games, but we definitely do work as well. The students do quite a lot of work as well. So just quickly onto tuition fees. For foundation, it's $23,578 for the full year. Half is paid at the beginning of the year and the other half is paid halfway through. The other programs there are about the same. The most expensive is Diploma of Commerce because that is first year university. And so compared to university, which is about $33,000, our diploma is $25,000. And January and April intake are the same. And a lot of students say, well, why would that be when there's 10 weeks less? But we have to register each student, same cost, and also teachers. If you come in April, you're actually taught for 1 hour extra per subject per week. So therefore, teachers have to be paid for that. Okay, and the big question, scholarships. Do we have scholarships? Yes, we do. Students who have very high scores will more likely get the top scholarship. Now, the top scholarship is $10,000. For all students who are good students, if you're an A student or A and A plus student, you will ask MMS to put through a scholarship application for you, and I'll assess that application, and then we allocate scholarships accordingly. So depending on how many students we get and how good the students are, you know, every student who comes into us who is a good student will end up with one of those, either $10,000, $7,000, $5,000 scholarship for foundation.
All right, Lisa, sorry to interrupt.
Yes. Yep.
We are approaching
running out of time. Yes.
But maybe you might want to wrap up in the next 1-2 minutes, and then we'll give a chance to answer some questions that the participants may have. And
okay, that's good.
I suppose it's also related to all these other things which you are talking about, such as accommodation. So
Okay, so accommodation, basically, if you're under 18, you either go into homestay, or we do have Vickery House, which is this on-campus accommodation. If you're over 17, you can stay in Vickery House. If you're over 18, you can choose lots of different options, but we do have an accommodation officer who can help with that. This is our location, located right next door to Curtin University, about 7 kilometres from the CBD. We've got shopping centres, little shopping centre around close to us, and also that you can use the facilities. The lifestyle, I won't show this video, but I think most of you would know that the lifestyle in Western Australia is lovely. So that is it. That's the end of the presentation. And I'll just stop sharing this. And so if anyone does have any questions at all, I'd be very happy to hear them. I can look in the chat and see if there's anything here. All right. No, that's fine. We've got Isaac Teo as well, I see in the chat. Is Isaac still? Yes, Isaac's still here. So Isaac and Nolan, do you have any questions at all that you would like to ask me?
I know Nolan does not have the video, so maybe you can type the questions in the chat box.
Type the questions in would be good. Yeah. And Isaac, if you have a video, you could turn it on so that we can see you. And see if you are similar to the last Isaac that we got from Lodge School, which would be great. No, it doesn't look like they've got anything at the moment. Maybe they're shy, Ronald.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the presentation, because after listening, I felt all the memories of being 17 years old and about to embark on this journey overseas for the first time, going to Perth, Australia, and so many things. Because I've gone through it, I understand what you are saying. But
that's excellent. Where did you go to, Ronald?
I went to Melbourne.
Oh, okay. And it's a big deal because Anna Ting, she works with me, and she's from Kuching. And she said she went straight into Murdoch University. And I asked her the other day, I said, would you have chosen a pathway program if you had the opportunity? And she said, yes, I would. She said, knowing what I know now after working at Canning for quite a lot of years, she said it just helps prepare you. Instead of being just sort of dumped in university where you've got thousands and thousands of students, we're a small school. So we help the students really assimilate and get ready for that. So she said, it's not such a big culture shock. Students...
Sorry to stop you there. Interrupt. because there's a question from Isaac. He said that I probably missed it, but what are the minimum requirements?
Okay, so minimum requirements for if they're doing SPM is a pass in 4 relevant subjects. So when we say relevant, English, of course, you must pass. And then relevant subjects would be subjects that are taught in Australia. So Chinese is not one of the subjects. Okay, so any of those sort of extra subjects, even religion, that's not considered relevant to come to us. So we're looking at a science subject probably, maths, maybe a business subject. We do accept liberal studies because I think that covers, you know, quite a lot of sort of geography, maybe art sort of subjects. So 4 subjects basically, if you pass 4 subjects, particularly English. So does that answer, Isaac, does that answer the question for you?
Not so. But okay, let me just ask, maybe just to get the conversation going. Maybe Isaac and Nolan, if you have an idea of roughly what kind of course you want to take, maybe Lisa could advise you on how that would fit in through Canning College. How Canning College would be a platform, a pathway for you to, let's say you want to enter an engineering course or a law course or a commerce degree. How would Canning College fit in? So if you guys have in mind a course that you want to take in uni, please type in the chat box so that we know roughly what would be relevant and how Lisa could advise on the pathway to take to reach the next step, which is after college, you want to go to uni, how Canning can help you get there.
Okay, so while they're typing, Ronald, all of the subjects that are taught at Canning sort of can be divided into business type subjects or science. So most students, even if they don't know exactly what they want to do at university, they have a bit of an inclination, okay, I'm better at science. So I would go towards a science subject. So students always do English, they usually do a maths, and then they would choose the other two or three subjects based on what they're good at and what they think they're likely to go towards. So if you chose English and maths and you're more science-based, you'd probably choose chemistry, physics, or human biology and chemistry, something like that. If you're interested in business, you would choose a maths, an English, and go towards, say, accounting, finance, business management. And then you've got the extra subjects like psychology and computer science that can fit into both areas.
Nolan has got a question. Could you elaborate more on the exact differences between the different maths subjects?
Okay, so maths application is your basic maths. I think Anna was saying that maths methods is like additional maths. Okay, maths specialist, you cannot do that on its own, and that would be more like a high-based calculus. So if you're going toward, and what directs what maths you're going to do is what you want to do at university. And one of the things we do is we bring out all the maths books, show the students the maths books, and say, have you done this before? Because in every country, their maths is given a different name. So it's pretty quick that students, and maths is always held, maths application and methods is held at the same time. So students, if they start with application and do it for a week or so, and they say, oh, this is way too easy, then we will say, okay, you can swap into maths methods. And the same thing, if maths methods too difficult, you can drop down to maths application. So it's not really a huge problem if they can't cope with the maths or it's too easy.
Actually, now that you mentioned maths methods and all that, I actually did the VCE, so I could also sort of answer this question. I would think that what was the first maths, the lowest level?
Application. Maths application.
So I think application is similar to our general maths in SPM, and maths methods. I did maths methods, and so that is more similar to additional maths, I think.
Yes, correct.
Except I think you use something called the graphics calculator, right?
Yes.
Right. So this instruments graphics calculator. So it's a little bit different from additional maths. except but you need to do some drawing of graphs in your calculator, right? In your graphics calculator. And for specialists, it's a higher level from additional maths or maths methods. But I didn't do specialists, so I can't really draw a comparison.
Yeah, and it really depends, because students coming in from different countries have a different attitude to the maths. Students coming in from China, they think it's all easy. You know, we say, oh, maths methods is difficult, and they look at us as if to say, well, that's ridiculous because this is very easy. Students coming in from Africa just look at it and say, well, we've never seen anything like it. So I think in Malaysia, it's pretty okay. I think Malaysian students can cope quite easily with the maths, and are probably at a similar level as well to what, is that what you experienced, Ronald?
Yeah, I felt that maths methods was more similar to more similar to additional mathematics, but it's slightly different in that there's the graphics calculator, which we don't use in
Oh, okay. Okay, so that, yeah, so learning how to use that is in itself is a difficulty as well.
That was rather new. That was rather new.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
But if you have a strong inclination to the sciences and the mathematics, then, you know, if you're going to be an engineer, my friends who did specialists, that was easy for them. So I think, well, if you are more on the science side, it should be no problem.
Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot of degrees you can get into just with applications. So, you know, as I say to students, if you don't need the harder maths, choose application if you're not strong at maths, because then you will breeze through it. Whereas if you're struggling, you know, it makes students a little bit more concerned.
Yeah, I would say that in my experience, it was more towards trying to get the subjects which you could do well in. And
that's right.
In order to get the score to enter the next step, which is what you're ultimately going for. And
I always say that to students, it's no use, you know, oh, I'll do my best, I'll do my best. I said, but you might be saying that and you haven't done your best and you don't get into university degree of your choice. Better to choose something easier if that's all they're asking for.
So any more other questions, maybe from Isaac and Nolan? Please feel free to ask. This is your chance to clear any doubts that you may have.
So Isaac, do you know what you want to do at university at this point? Just wait. Even Nolan, have you got an idea what degree you want to do at university?
For Isaac, it's either pharmacy or medicine.
Okay, so for Isaac, you know, the amazing thing for medicine, they don't actually have any prerequisite subjects. You just need to be good. So always we would assume that you would choose science subjects. So human biology is a great one for both of those choices. So human biology is, and a lot of students coming in from Malaysia haven't done human biology, they've only done biology. So I think human bio is a very good choice. Also chemistry is a good choice as well for both. But you basically, for pharmacy, you usually need one science subject minimum. And for medicine, they just want you to be an overall good at most subjects, most science subjects. And also for medicine, you have to sit the ISAT test, which is a test that will check if you are suitable. In the old days, they used to, if you were the smartest student in the class, you got into medicine. Now that's not just the case. They want to see that you are actually a suitable candidate for medicine. And one of the other things they look for is students who have done some sort of practical work experience. So, you know, if you get a part-time job, it would be great if you managed to do that in an aged care facility or in something that you could say, yes, I've had some practical experience as well. With medicine, if you go to the University of Western Australia, you do an undergraduate degree, usually in biomedical science for 3 years, and then you do postgraduate afterwards. But there are some universities in Australia that still offer undergraduate medicine. So I think the University of Tasmania is one of them, University of Western Sydney, University of Adelaide, I think still offers undergraduate medicine. So students who want to go directly into medicine, it's a good idea to look around and see where you want to go. The reason why University of WA made it postgraduate is because they said they thought that students at the age of 17 were too young to know that they wanted to be doctors. So they would rather that they would you know, do an undergraduate degree first, give them 3 years to make a bit more of a good decision. But one of the things with foundation students, our foundation students, if they do particularly well in foundation, they can get what is referred to as an assured pathway into medicine. And that means that, and last year we had a girl from, actually, who ended up with the assured pathway, and that just means that that says you do your undergraduate degree and you maintain a reasonable score, you will go straight into medicine. You will not have to sit the GAMSAT test, which is graduate entry into medicine. So,
sorry, Lisa. Sorry, Lisa. I have to stop you there.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it's our time is up. But I'm just wondering if you could, and thank you so much for the talk and all that information. Perhaps you'd like to leave your contact details maybe in the chat box,
yes,
or just say it out so that our students, I mean Isaac and Nolan, can get your contact, and should they have any questions, they could follow up with you after this.
Okay, that's good. May, did you want to forward my email address to them, or do you want me to just put it in the chat box?
She's muted.
Okay.
So, sorry about that, because I'm mindful of the time. The next topic.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'll just put my email address in.
For Nolan and Isaac, after today, if you have any questions or that, you actually can feel free to drop by our office.
Good. All right, so I've got my email address in there, and so the way it works for students is you basically contact the agent, and then the agent does almost everything else, which is good. They send it through to our office, and then we assess and everything else. So, but honestly, to Isaac and Nolan, feel free to contact me on that email address. Because you always think of things later on. Oh, I wish I'd asked that, and I'm happy to answer any of those questions.
All right, and we have also got the MMS contact from May. That's 0822467995. Or you could, I think, just simply Google if you use the contact MMS. Look for May Tan, 0822467995. All right, guys. Everybody, it's 10:55, so we're way past time, but it was a great talk. I enjoyed it very much.
Okay.
We brought back all the memories.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Take care.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And see you, Nolan, Isaac. Hopefully we'll see you one day at Canning. See you, May.
All right.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Rona, Lisa.
Nolan, thank you, Isaac.
Thank you.
Bye.